Hello and welcome. It is the 25th day of October 2019. My name is Derek. All bets, trades, and of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. I'll talk about Litecoin, Bitcoin, crypto trading in general, and even sports gambling, money management more than anything. Because whether it's sports betting, whether it's poker, whether it's market trading, or any other venture of the like, risk reward management should always be job number one. I think it for myself it is. All right, so then let's take a look here. We have Litecoin on the single hour term time frame breaking this level of resistance at the 67 one handle up to about 69, or a differential of about like 3%, 67 over 69, over like 2 basis points. And within it, it's a clear break above resistance. What highs has it managed to get to? Well, just by looking at this, well, this previous high in here, well, it surpassed that. What about what's after that? Okay, well, this little area in here, that's pierced above that right now. And then we got this previous high, and that's in at about 707. And so that's where it would be. Now, this might be on the way there kind of stuff where the price as we stand here might have any type of retracement one way or another through price and time. And still, of course, a decent distance looking at this. But I mean, overall, this has been very low volatile, and these markets have been having some declines along the way. I had to make a deposit onto Binance with Litecoin, not a big one, just enough to complete one trade. As it's the first one that I made since September 20. It's the first withdrawal of my hardware wallet since September 27th, which is like wow. Now sometimes I'll buy a bit and I'll just keep it on there. If I have like a Litecoin or two on the exchange, it's like yeah, whatever. And when it gets really high, I'll withdraw it. And then when Litecoin starts to rally, I mean, I'm hoping that I have to log on a couple, three times today and send some more. Because if this goes up to like 75, 80, 90 Satoshi, I most certainly will. It's just one market in which I was trading against. It's this one right here, Komodo. And I guess I could have got a better price if I wait. I'm already at 652. But whatever. I mean, that's just nothing. But the ratio trade was like a 12, 13% flip from the last one. And that last one was a while ago. And on this one here, there's this one's breaking down. It's been going down below this 18 average and is pretty much been grinding its way to this previous low at 628. And I can look at it via a ratio and see where do we get LTC right here, 106. So it's gone up. And this is just didn't do its thing. Whatever it does, I'm going to trade it within it. But when I look at this, it's going to be all the gainers on here. I mean, this is Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin, so not much of a move. Litecoin is overperforming Bitcoin, I think so, and Bitcoin Cash is over. Well, I know that, but rather Bitcoin Cash is overperforming Bitcoin, I think, which means that the rate of ascent for Litecoin against Bitcoin Cash is not as much, and Bitcoin is overperforming the dollar, which means Litecoin is overperforming the dollar even more than it is against Bitcoin. It's, understanding how one asset class is doing against another, I should be able to go like 30, 40, and just quickly give you like two in advance, like what's overperforming the other after I just tell you what everything's been doing in like ways of stuff like this. Anyway, that's just other mathematics. So at the top, well, Bitcoin Cash against Theta, 24.34. So we can see. For me, that's okay if it's going to do this because I already made a trade down here. So either if it goes down more, I would have ended up, of course, selling more Theta for BCH. And if the market goes probably up into here, at least, then yeah, I'm going to turn that into that of Theta. And I'll just do a flip trade. I'll just make a small amount of the BCH and make a lot more. Well, not can't say a lot more. A small amount of Theta. Hopefully, I will make a lot more of the BCH, as that is what I'll be looking to gain within the Patriots game this weekend. We'll talk about that at the end of the technical analysis, as I've been talking a lot about that game this week, and it's one of the ones that I'll play it. And just like the market's going to do what the market's going to do, it's the same thing there. The game of play and the statistics and the scores are going to do what it's going to do, based on what based on the obvious. So Litecoin against Theta, 575, same sort of deal here. I was last in at 530 something, so right in around here. So I want to get this over 6 anyway. especially because I went from it. I sold it at 600 on the way down, and then I sold again at 530. I'm like, might as well get at least around that 600 number. And then we have stuff like Litecoin against whoever I did Komodo. Uh, let's do Litecoin against Lumen, for example. It's like this is what a lot of this has been lately. It's been I've been looking at all the stuff. It's like, yeah, I've been getting a lot of Litecoin lately, and those Litecoin that I've gained would be, of course, sold back. So when I look at how markets move in here, well, this already had a spectacular up move from here to here, and it really hasn't even given back much when we look at the comparison to Lumen against Bitcoin, or against, excuse me, Lumen against Litecoin. But we were up here in the price, and then the price come down here. Even for the most part, this was just a small move. This is what I want these things to do in a long-term period, is just chop around back and forth in this nature, and I'll just pick away at little moves here and there, and then the more moves along the way when they happen like this situation. This means, and I'm just too much drawing tools on it, but when we have moves like this, 70, 80%, like whatever, 70ish or whatever percent of my trades at a higher, well higher than 50% will be selling Litecoin for Lumen. And if this were to come down here, well, it would be the quite opposite. And from here to here, it's been selling Lumen for Litecoin, and of course, well, the obvious if it goes up top. So then, let's take a look at Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance. And I haven't actually looked at either one today. So Bitcoin dominance doing nothing. Interesting. Okay, that's something interesting. So it's actually still breaking the breakdown spot, really. Bitcoin up 7 or 4%. First, let's take a look at the market cap. Then we're going to take a look at. Oh, that would be a interesting failed move spot. Wow. Okay. Well then, I need a shorter term time frame. That's 8 hour. Doesn't justify, I don't think. But we'll first take a look at it there. Remove some volume. Alrighty then, let's put another line in because I like to put horizontal rays in. Although I don't need to because the line's already there. It's that green line where we're at right now. So then, this would be interesting if this thing breaks. Wow. Okay, so enough of this oh wow kind of stuff. It's when you be able to draw a box like this. First thing you have to do is you have to break a key level of support. And one, two, three times hit. So yeah, of course that's a big level. Then after that, you again draw in a shape like this, you get to this next level. Now this is the either or situation. We could be resisting where we are now, and even a higher or lower high rather to this 150, somewhere like 145, but even more particular like a 143 up to the 18 average of highs, although it's now meeting up with this line as it's declining. But anything, well, we're just now at that early stage of where resistance would be, which is between previous support here and a noticeable lower high to the previous. So if you see within the next little move that the retracement from this low to whatever the high happens to be, which is right now around the 139.5 mark, if you start to see weakness, which is failure amongst the 61.8% down, and then breaking down below the 76.4% down move, that's like, okay, now high probability that we're going to break the support. That's how I would look at the numbers on that, and that could give you a big advantage as far as seeing how this big move is going to go. So, and again, with that being said, lower high can be a move up to the 18 average of that. So with that move that gets above here, that again you'd be extending the Fibonacci range, but you'd also now be getting signs that it's more probable, but definitely not guaranteed, that you'd be having that of a failed breakdown, the one that I got pointed out. So it just becomes pretty obvious to me, and I'm just trying to delete this box. Don't know why it's not doing it, but I think another easy way of doing it is like this, and go like, okay, that didn't work. This does. Just find the delete on the keyboard right there. Sorry about that. So therefore, if you start to see it breaking out above in here, the 145, 146, and going higher, the higher it goes, okay, well now it's more and more on that big move, and then the possibility of it just having a fast move to at least that 165 number. becomes a realistic situation. And then at 165, whether it becomes resistance or not, okay, I don't know. If it's not, expect a fast move to 215. That's one of the ways that I like to look at it. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. First, dominance, because again, this is like break even. So what we're going to be seeing is the decline from the 69 number, and it's below the 18 average of lows in here. It's been like a grind move when you consider the move from the April 1st lows. And when we look at this, say on a daily chart, the size of these moves aren't that big, even now compared to before. And these in general, I'm still waiting for big volatility, and it's still at the opposite. But the momentum of this, we're now going back many periods, September the 6th, closing in on that of 2 months on this decline. And the amount of time that this took to go down is 2 months from there to there. So how about from 68 to the high, realizing the vast majority of it came up to here. Well, this was August the 2nd, so that would have just been a month, and really just 1 week, and well, rather, from this lower level, a week and a half to go from this low to this high, which is about the same. This rate of ascent is about the same as the descent here. So that's another way of looking at it there too. That you see the fast moves continuously every single red green candle day up like nine in a row. I mean, we could have the same thing, and who knows? It could be nine red in a row, and maybe we could get this type of reverse action in 1 or 2 days, and that doesn't surprise me. To me, it's not only does not surprise me, but I expect stuff like that. It's just really a matter of when. When could be today, next week, next month, or within the year. And maybe a little later, but that's the whole point of me saying it that way because I'm not here to try to predict it. But if it does do that, I'd be like, okay, I'd most likely be saying, okay, this altcoin's up 15%. Yeah, so be it. The average one's up that. Oh, well, this one's up 32. Yeah, it's doing pretty good. But how about this one up 56 and 122 and 410% there? And look at that one, only up 7%. And how about that coin down 30%? Well, yeah, but the reason why that 30% coin is down was because it was doubled yesterday, or tripled even, and it was up 5 times over the last 12 days, stuff like that. And that's another thing that's interesting of note too. It's awesome in crypto trading is when an individual coin has a big move. Well, sometimes then maybe they don't do quite as well. For example, let's look at the top gainers and losers on here. The top loser, oh, we have Theta in there. Yeah, well, Theta's been kicking ass the last few days. So having a little bit of move lower, I think, get some buybacks is something I definitely I'm looking at. And as far as in here, well, we've got some gainers, we got some losers. And again, according to Bitcoin dominance, if this is pretty much flat for the day, that means the average coin is somewhere near zero, like, well, at this stage, like down like a point something percent. Alrighty. How hourly time frame? Anything in here? Sideways consolidation for like the entire ever since yesterday. Anyway, that's really not much going on. Obviously, well, there we go. Maybe it's going to break, but still no. Even if it gets up to here, I need to see, like, for me to see it break this range, I need to see at least like 68.12 minimum, and that's being conservative, I think, on a conservative level. All right then. So let's take a look at what do we got next? Bitcoin Cash. Holding pretty well for the last little while. But we've got what's the most recent pattern in here? This has been going on for a good amount of time. This has been an entire good run from this low on the 18, as it's been great support. This level of resistance has been established, not it hasn't came back to it. This level has been when it was taken out. We had the support there, and now we're seeing we're supporting this better. We're most certainly strengthening this level of resistance. So normally, textbook analysis, break it, we're probably going to have a decent move. And when you have that, what levels I'm looking at was resistance right now. If it goes up here, I'd be looking for support. Just like when I was looking for resistance here at this point, I didn't really see much. Not a surprise, it had at least a move to that. And oh, now I'm looking for it to be support. I see it, it's support, okay. And now it's lifting higher, so the probability odds is that it's going to be breaking this later on in today's session. That's why I say at the start, oh, risky dude, because if you bet on this and you win, hey, take your profits, you win. And if you lose on it, you lose. Same thing on, of course, Sunday afternoon with the new England Patriots game. And I don't really think there's much more to go over, so let's talk about no Bitcoin itself. Yeah, that was the one I haven't talked about. So let's go over Bitcoin up 4.7%. And I already showed on the market cap the possibility of a failed breakdown. And I haven't even looked at this chart today, and I already know that's the case because, well, I've already looked at it before and I already know the numbers pretty well. Uh, I don't really need volume. It's always the same volume. It's going to be good volume on here because in order for the rally to go up, there has to be good volume. So I'm going to put it in, I'm going to delete it. Yeah, exactly. All right, so clear level of resistance. Now, usually when you have a key range and you break support resistance, you have a concise move to the next level. And well, and now ever since this market has been moving up, where are we looking to? Where did we come from? Oh, really? Really? I mean, it was just luck that it just did it fast, I suppose. But I mean, really? Okay, let me just stop saying that and get my drawing tool out. At least three hits of it. I'll make it four. And it was close here. Well, it's a start, and even that's another one. So it's a start of the range. What other parts do we got? We got this previous high. We really got this whole sideways range in here. Because this is what the range used to be. So just like I said on the whole uh, market cap thing, and they're just going to go coincide with each other, as it pretty much should. But in the same realm, if you lower high this anywhere in here, which already it is, so it can still go up higher to make it. So just because it does the next stage of the failed breakout pattern, in that it goes down below here, has its little sideways, little just choppyish action of whatever, then it has a quick rally, pretty much in a straight up fashion, which this is. So if you see it come into here, you still can't say, oh, yep, it's going to be a failed move because we could be looking at another lower high from this, and we could be like, yep, lower high at 8100 and whatever. That could very easily still be the case. Now, if you're looking for situational or different signs moving forward, there's so many ways that this can play out in a positive failed breakdown situation. For if it gets above it, and maybe you start to see situations where it's supporting this level, thus strengthening something like this, and now we're above here. Looks like we're going higher. Things like that could easily happen. And if it does continue to go higher, if it has a fast move to the opposite direction, well, like I stated before, and it's still live in play. There's nothing to change what I said. The entire part of this range, regardless of which of this breakout pattern it's going to be, we're either going to 6,300 down or decently over 10, notice over 10,000 high, like right around here. I mean, if it's 98, 99, pretty much the same area, but I would expect there's a better chance. We at least would go to 10.1, 10.2 area on the break. So therefore, if you're looking to try to think of, okay, I want to get in for what's a good mathematical way to play this? Well, one way that comes quickly to my head is this. Obviously, by going long in here and all this, you are playing yourself for buying near a top and playing in a failed, well, not a failed, it would be a lower high. It would just be just making its move where, okay, lower high, come back down, whatever you do here, either no support, little support, maybe something like that. And then, of course, 63 is the next target. And now what? And I say that on a non-fundamental but only mathematical level question, a realistic level, because I don't know. Same thing if it comes up here. If it starts to see it rallying, I'm like, okay, I'm fully expecting it to go there. And when it gets there, now I don't know what to do now. But what I know what to do is keep on evaluating the situation, realizing when resistance isn't hit when it's supposed to, same with support, we're probably going to go concisely and usually fast to the next level. So that's part of it. So again, so how I'd be looking at far like one of the better risk reward type of plays is I see this as a clear level of the upper end of the resistance range. And I realize that if it gets above it, it's probably going to have a move to about 10,000 and change, like low 10,000. So I realize selling in about here is something I could do. And if I see the price action having some nice strength above here, well, now I got to figure, okay, this is my reward. This is what I'm going for again. How much of a risk do I want to put in? Do calculations like that, so on and so forth. Maybe 91's a little high. Maybe you wait for like maybe 9,000. If it goes to 9,000, now you got a higher reward and you got a lower risk. So whatever little things or ways you can calculate to give yourself the better advantage is going to do just that, a better advantage within the situation. So amongst the daily term, And there we can see it right here. This would be classic if you have the situation where you have something like this, and this to me, this isn't normal. I don't think anyway. I don't see much of this where you have the big red down move, just like the one pause, and then you just have a green move that goes right this high to this point. Oh, not usually, no. But we'll see. We'll see how it works on this. But the pattern in itself does tell me the probability should be pretty higher than I would even have thought originally for the failed move. But as you see in here, getting above the 18 average of highs, if it's able to do that, the 84 gives you the good probability. And you're like, well, yeah, so if you go for this, maybe you put a shot to go long here. Just take the chance because it could work out. But obviously, here's the deal. If you go long here, as I mentioned before, this is much lower than the number for the play. Then if it goes in here, you have a higher chance of losing a failed move because there's going to be situations where you're going to be buying when the price only goes up to this or 86 or whatever, and then those waiting to get in at 9 won't even buy because it never gets there. So when it goes like this, you lose buying here. This person doesn't get a play in, which is basically a win. And then when it goes higher, this person in here gets a better win because of the better price that they get. So there's just so many mechanisms in how you look for it. But another one too, I've seen this a lot in old school gold and silver days and even other traditional markets that before a decent move, sometimes you get a failed move like this right beforehand. Whether this will be the case, I don't know. Just it's something that I have seen a lot. And right now, this thing is up 10%. What's going on here? Holy shit. Okay. I might have to pause the tape and do some work. What's the other coins doing? 6.7 down for Theta. Litecoin's just hanging in there. So the ratios aren't really trading too much. Holy cool. Okay. This is okay. What's happening is the volume's probably this is probably happening on really low volume. We probably have the big volume bars in here. Of course not. Look at the massive volume here. Yeah. Huge. So something's going on. And now the opportunity of that, I mean, obviously you know more. Okay, so that Fibonacci is going to be extremely, extremely important now. From which breakout low do I want to use? Well, it's debating between here and here. I would guess this low for Fibonacci for this move because we're seeing this awesome, awesome gain right now. And within it, it's a statement. So if we're going to have any corrections, where do we break it out from? You can start Fibonacci even from this movie here. Another one is from, let's just do the 1 minute time frames. We got big volume coming in here. You can start it from this breakout low of 7,700 as another one. But this is just a fantastic, fantastic move. Okay, well, this is a good time to talk about football because that's how I want to finish this video off on. Let's make sure this is auto. I guess I'm betting more on the game if it works out this way. 8,400. Wow, sweet. So Bitcoin's up today. And is this as dominant as the Patriots are going to be on that of Sunday? Interestingly, they actually just traded Michael Bennett, one of their defensive players who was suspended last week and has been getting decent decline in playing time the couple weeks before, to the Dallas Cowboys, somebody they have to play later in the season as is anyway. I find that very, very interesting. 85, wow. And man, I'm off. I know exactly what I'm saying. I already prepared it. It's about risk reward management. I've said, yeah, I'm betting 3 figures. Yeah, well, it might be more. No, it won't be. It won't be more. Meaning I'm not betting 600, 700. I guess is another way of putting it. And if I lose, it's okay, whatever. In fact, I'm making more on this run up higher by far than what I'm betting on the game. It's not even close. In fact, I might even make a larger size wager on it because of it, on the risk reward management, depending on, of course, how the prices go. Now, there's some interesting wagers on there as well, at least on the cloud bet, where I've seen something on the specials. I was looking for players specials just to be curious to see what they had. and they didn't have them, but they had some other ones they never had before, and a couple that I felt were points for the teams, like 0 to this, like 7 to 14, 7 to 13, and I won for the Patriots to win by 28 or more, which is technically laying 27 and a half, and I think the spread should be 21 or 22 for the Patriots this weekend. I'm thinking I'm getting they're offering almost 5 to 1 odds, plus 490 was the price. And I'm thinking, wow, that's just an incredible score. Uh, I'm thinking they got a 38, 40, 42% chance, maybe covering a number, maybe 37 of that major magnitude. I mean, they've done it a few times, like 3 times this year. They've won by 4 touchdowns or more. And then another one on the other end, the Cleveland Browns, 6 points or less. And I was wishing they'd give me 7 or less, or even a 10 or less would be a nice prop. But it's about like plus 600. Not liking that as much because I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland does put up like 7, 9, 10, or 13. But wow, okay, Bitcoin's we're losing value. I have the amount of money that I've lost over the last like I don't know couple of minutes. I'm talking about like let's see, how much would that be? $200, several hundreds of dollars I've lost. Oh wow. Oh my goodness, we're talking thousands maybe soon. See, that's the volatility of this crypto market on just a move like that. Like the amount of thousands of dollars you can make here and then to give it all back. And that's something else I like to talk about too. I can't wait till the first day where I can say I lost $1 million today. I mean, I've never ever had $1 million at one point, other than Zimbabwe dollars, which I still have, and I have a whole bunch. I mean, millions. We're talking billions. We're talking trillions. I have 100 trillion Zimbabwe dollars. It's just one paper rectangle. It's in good condition though, which is really important. Really important when you're talking about your Zimbabwe dollars. That might be the case with U.S. dollars in the future too. But you know what? I mean, they're more overinflated than baseball cards were back in the day, so maybe not. Anyway, that's the wild magnitude of these markets. The fact that you can literally make thousands of dollars in like a few minutes. What was the gain here? 85 to 77, 800, 10%. Yeah. Oh, thousands and thousands. Oh my goodness. We might be getting the 5 digits soon. I mean, that's the thing about these markets. And I might even, I don't know, I'm not going to say much more, but. And then there's people that are making hundreds, millions on this move. People that have lost a lot because when you're in a situation, and this is looking more like a failed breakdown. When you're in a situation when you're able to get moves of magnificent proportions, you're like, yeah, I got like just back in here. I got $1,000, and I don't mind putting it into cryptos. $5 a crypto, or say $6. Okay, yeah, get me about 150, 160. We're good to go. And then you just do trading back and forth with other stuff. And then this happens, and you lose 20%, 25% of your portfolio on Mt. Gox, or 15%. But you keep going. And then you withdraw bits and pieces here and there, and next thing you know, you got 5 houses right now. I mean, things like that can happen. That's the best part of this game. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye. Oh yeah, Mike. Anything else I want to say? Uh, Not really. I just know I'm going to go in the game on Sunday at 4 o'clock, and I got a shot to win or lose. But I realize I'm putting up what's pretty much an even odds bet. In fact, it might even be a little bit more than even odds because I got about a plus 106 add-on yesterday. And I know that it's 50-50 odds, and I truly believe I'm 67 plus percent likely to win this game. We'll see what happens. Take care.